Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a feeling of resourcefulness. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. That's in. Breathing in a feeling of resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, allowing tension, stress and anxiety to leave your body in your outward breath. With each and every breath, as you listen to the sound of my voice, just notice that as you breathe in, there's a feeling of resourceful relaxation going in. And as you exhale, feelings of tension, stress or worry is leaving your body in your outward breath. I want you to imagine that you are building the idea of a tiny bubble. And maybe when you were a child, you used to play with bubbles. But I want you to imagine this is a tiny bubble that is growing. And sometimes you wear your glasses and sometimes you don't. And you accept that the world is the world as it is, but that your glasses enable you to see a different version of the world. And I want you to create an idea that as this bubble grows, this bubble is a lens in which you see the world. I want you to imagine that this bubble grows large enough for you to climb inside, and it's an invisible bubble that gives you a feeling of feeling safe. Inside this bubble, you are protected from anything from the outside world. And as you look through the bubble, I want you to imagine you're looking through this bubble through a lens, a belief system, and therefore everything outside of the bubble is perceived to be through these belief systems. And you will believe these to be true. Imagine stepping into that bubble now so you can feel a large, transparent, protective bubble entirely around you. And when you can see and feel this and feel the safetiness of being in this protective bubble, just let me know by nodding your head. And this bubble protects you because you're inside the bubble. But I want you to get a sense that as you're looking through that transparent bubble, everything outside that bubble is being interpreted. And the first thing is that you believe that as you look through that bubble to the outside world, that the world is safe for you. Safe can mean anything. It doesn't matter if we're talking about physical safety from people, or perhaps the perceived safety from bacteria or germs. But I want you to get a sense that as you look through that bubble, it's through the perception that you are safe and you are protected, and that the risks out there in the world are not zero, but they are low. And there's many times in your life that you've done things where the risks are low, so you felt safe doing them. I want you to think of a time where you crossed the road. You crossed the road knowing that there could be traffic, but you looked around. You used your common sense, and by crossing the road at the right time, you felt safe. There wasn't no risk, but there was low risk. And if you can recall a time where you did something like that and felt safe, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to get a sense that out there in the world, there is low levels, virtually no levels of bacteria, viruses, or contamination, and therefore that's what makes you feel safe. I want you to get a sense that as you walk out into the world, there is a tiny probability of you getting sick. In fact, I want you to look through the lens of this bubble and perceive something different. That by going out in the world, you're giving your immune system the ingredients to become healthier. Those people that stay inside all the time with less vitamin D, less fresh air, less interaction with people, tend to get ill more often. And those people that experience the powerful connection of conversations and human interaction and sunlight and fresh air tend to be healthier and get sick less often. So as you look through this bubble, I want you to have a belief that going outside makes you healthier. And imagine looking through the bubble and imagine that the outside world is safe and that by going outside you become healthier. And look through the bubble and imagine that to be true. And if your unconscious mind can entertain that idea, just let me know by nodding your head. Your mind is capable of suspending beliefs and introducing new ideas. You can watch a movie and you can feel sad when a dog dies, knowing that the dog isn't real, the death wasn't real, but you can experience real emotions over something that isn't true. I want you to get a sense that your brain has this capacity to hold on to ideas and treat them as if they're true. So I want you to imagine that as you're in this bubble, before you leave your home, you believe that the outside world is safe, and that by going outside, you enable yourself to become healthier. To hold on to the belief that in the slim possibility that you get sick, it's no big deal and your body can handle it. That you refuse to be reckless, but you refuse to be on edge all the time. And if your unconscious mind can hold on to these ideas while inside this bubble, just let me know by nodding your head. And then imagine, still with this protective bubble around you, leaving your home, doing something that is useful to be done, maybe the shopping, maybe some certain things that would be useful, or maybe just going for a walk to a nearby park. I want you to get a sense that you feel safe, protected, and that simply by being outside, you're becoming healthier and healthier. You're holding on to a belief that you have the resources to handle being outside, that your immune system is more damaged by anxiety than it ever will be by infection or viruses or bacteria. That actually your body needs a certain level of just living in the real world to act as exercise for your immune system to defend yourself against everyday threats and infections. Imagine a child that was put out into the world, going to schools and nursery, By the time they're 18, their immune system would be strong and used to different things, but emotionally they would be more resilient, having dealt with different things. And then imagine a child that is kept in quarantine from the age they're born all the way up to 18 and then suddenly put out in the world. You know that quarantine child is more at risk. So therefore, you have an idea that quarantine is useful for brief periods of time where there's high levels of uncertainty. But those times are gone now. Your own immune system and the immune system of other people are now prepared for all different things. If you imagine a previous infection as intelligence for your immune system, it now knows the enemy in a way that it didn't know before. And therefore, the risks of any kind of infection are lower. And even if you do get sick, through this bubble, through this belief system, you believe that it's no big deal and you will recover quickly. If your unconscious mind accepts this to be true, let me know by nodding your head. It might be a walk in the park, maybe even a jog. Maybe it's a trip to the supermarket or something else. I want you to get a sense that you're not reckless, but you're not on edge filled with anxiety. There is this middle ground where you feel safe and protected, but equally, you're not going to be silly. I want you to imagine interacting with people, feeling safe. I want you to imagine as people talk in your direction, imagine this bubble is bouncing off whatever you don't want to get close to you. And therefore you can feel safe even if someone is talking very close to you. I want you to get a sense that you are safe, you are protected, you are healthy, and that just by being out there in the world, you're becoming healthier and healthier. And then imagine that you return, still feeling resourceful, but unlocking a feeling of pride, accomplishment, and satisfaction. And then I want you to imagine you're washing your hands, but that's all you're willing to do. Because your belief system is that there is next to no contamination out there. And therefore, washing your hands is just good practice, but anything more than that would support a belief system that is no longer true for you. You're not at risk. Your life is not in danger. There is no imminent threat. All of this is just old ideas that didn't serve you very well. I want you to get a sense that the more you do these things, the more anxiety is being replaced with a feeling of confidence and resilience. And the lower anxiety there is, the more your immune system can operate in a healthy, natural way. I want you to go back in time in your own mind to a time where you felt your way of thinking about being outside was at its most useful and helpful and empowering for you. And just realize that those neural pathways are still there. Imagine reactivating them. Knowing that even if you had less information in the past, even with that lack of information, you didn't get sick back then. Your immune system was actually stronger because your anxiety was lower. I want you to get a sense that you are unlocking the resources so that your mind gravitates to what you consider useful and normal and healthy for you. And when that resource and that way of thinking is reactivated, And only then, let me know by nodding your head. The echoes of your previous ways of thinking and believing will still come to mind. And when they do, that's an opportunity to remind yourself that these are just echoes of old ways of thinking, not how you think anymore. In the same way that in the past someone has asked you for a phone number or an address, and you gave them an old one before you quickly corrected yourself. Or maybe when you were putting a date on a document, for the first few days of a year, you might have put the previous year on some kind of documentation, but you caught yourself and updated it. And this is what will happen. As the echoes come to mind of old beliefs and old ways of thinking, you'll catch it in the moment and realize that this is an opportunity to re-educate, remind yourself that it's much easier and beneficial for you to believe that you're healthy and safe, and that if you do get sick, you'll recover quickly, than any alternatives. You won't be reckless, but the need to be hypervigilant, on edge all the time, that is truly detrimental to your health, is no longer necessary for you. Just within your imagination, I want you to think about how things are going to be this point forwards, how to break those old patterns, but also how to increasingly go beyond your comfort zone. Anxiety is just a clue that you're close to your comfort zone, and by sitting with that anxiety, by expanding beyond it, you're able to feel that you are winning the battle against anxiety. And now I want you to return to the present, feeling like you're in your own body right now, but knowing that you can activate these resources whenever you need them. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, feeling safe, feeling protected, feeling like there is an opportunity to update what you believe to completely take your life in a positive, desirable direction. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.